All right, ladies. So yesterday I made a video about Ariana Grande's strategies on how to seduce guys. Because the truth is about Ariana Grande is that if you really compare her to other women, there's nothing really, not in a bad way, but there's nothing really that makes her stand out. Okay, in terms of the body, she has a pretty face, but it's not. She's a normal, beautiful looking girl, like a cute girl next door. So why is it that so many men tend to trade her off, tend to pick her over the person that they're with, right? And I broke down some of the strategies that she does, which is obviously she makes sure that she's in close proximity to the guy. She makes sure that she is consistently seeing him in a certain amount of time frame. In other words, she sees him all the time in a short time frame, and she makes sure that those guys are either unhappy or in a relationship where they're kind of bored with it, and that's how she's able to stand out. But then I started looking at her, and I'm like, you know what? I bet you a lot of money, a lot of guys wouldn't expect her to be the way she is. Because the first time I saw her, people kept recommending me that I break down Ariana Grande, and I was like, why am I going to talk about her? You know, what's interesting about her? She looks like a nice girl. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea. I was about to go straight to the Bronx with Ariana Grande, because what she does is this: she sends mixed signals. Her main secret is the fact that she looks like a nice girl, and yet she does so much ratchet stuff, right? Where a lot of guys will see her and will never assume she's willing to do the things she does. She's willing to steal another woman's man. She's willing to block a woman asking her how she knows her man. She's willing to block him without even responding. Do you guys know how ratchet that is? Do you guys know how much Black Air Force energy there is behind that? How much Bronx energy there is behind that? How much Timberlands? How much Florida is in that? Right? So that's what fascinates men, because people are fascinated by opposites. That, for example, Rasputin looked like a monk, a Christian guy who is holy. But then something about Rasputin that people said is that when he would preach and sound happy and sound really serious. But then all of a sudden, what they say is that his eyes turned dark and there was a sexuality emitting from him, and that mixed signal makes people attracted to him. It's like there was a video that I saw. There was a photo on Instagram where there was a guy with a lot of tattoo with a poodle in his hand, and people were like, "He's the baddie, but he's a baddie on the outside and the softie on the inside," and that's actually a real thing, right? Where people are fascinated by things that look like one way on the outside and look another way on the inside. That's why spirituality can be so sexually charged, because you have people, men and women, in a room trying to meditate, trying to be spiritual, but if they are attracted to each other, the fact that there's a spiritual aura around it increases the sexuality. So opposites tends to increase each other, almost like in a symbiotic relationship. And that's what Ariana Grande does. So, for example, if you're is something that guys find fascinating, it's like I dated a girl who you could tell she was lesbian, but like a feminine lesbian. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not a butch, but she is super feminine but short hair. But you could tell she was lesbian. And what I liked about her was that but then she was super straight. And completely the opposite of what you expect. She looked like a dominant girl, but in reality, she was really submissive. And that opposite made her really attractive. Or guys who who look dominant on the outside, like a lot of celebrity, but a lot of them like to get pegged, or a lot of them like to be dominated by women in secret. So those contrasts makes people more interesting, makes people more fascinating when you look one way and or the other. Like Einstein is an example, where Einstein doesn't look like a scientist, a smart scientist, because of the way he looks, but he's actually one of the greatest geniuses of all time, right? Another example is even people who we find fascinating, how you live next door next to someone and they look like a normal person, but then in reality they were serial killers, and because of that makes them really fascinating. A lot of people get attracted to people like that, right? So let's reveal to you guys some of the aspects that she does with even more clarity through listening to the book The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, because it's gonna confirm to you guys what I'm telling you. What you guys want to be able to do is know who you are on the inside and project the opposite. If you're somebody that's really kinky, project a innocent girl look, and all of a sudden your kinkiness will have a even more charge, and your innocent look will have even more charge behind it, because you're gonna see an innocent person, but you know this person is a freak, right? And that gives them like a sexual charge, right? If you're somebody that's really smart on the outside world, don't appear dumber than you are, and you'll notice you're gonna be more fascinating. If you're somebody that's super masculine on the inside, look feminine on the outside, and vice versa. Why? Because the mixed signals fascinate, and that's their strength. Let's listen to this. Right.
3.
And by the way, this is something that I do talk about in my course, specifically in my course, Natural Chemistry, right? Natural Chemistry is a course that I created for women who want to be able to project femininity and masculinity while remaining feminine. It's a way on how to keep guys interested in your life. So the Natural Chemistry is that course for you. It's more so for women who are in relationships who want to learn how to project this. Or you could check out my course, my new upcoming course, I call it the Natural Woman, but it's really the Feminine Woman, which is a overall self-help course for women, where I talk about dating, career, self-development, spirituality, and how to embrace your masculine and your feminine, assertiveness. It's an overall course. It's like the self-help course of Mindful Attraction for women. So click in the description down below to purchase it, or I'm closing the channel. I mean, better yet, pre-order it, and you could pre-order it at a more affordable price right now. So let's listen to this.
Send mixed signals.
So again, I think Ariana is aware that she uses, something that I found fascinating is that when I was looking at her, I was looking at Ariana Grande, right? And I saw her face, and right here, and I could just tell that she knows. She plays up the little girl look. Like, she knows what she's doing, people. She plays it up. And she's highly self-aware of how people perceive her. And so what she does is that she projects this super nice, I could never hurt you type of aura. When the reality is she's hiding the I'll steal your bitch energy. I'll take your girl. I'll take your man's energy. And nobody expects this from her. Even the men she seduces doesn't expect that from her. But that's the point. That's the secret, is that she catches people off guard. One of the things about me is that a lot of people see me and they think I'm a really mean person. Honestly, that's like one of the things about me. They think I'm really like, oh, he's a mean guy. But in reality, everyone who knows me knows I'm an extremely nice guy. I am the complete opposite of how I look on my channel, right? I'm actually a very, to a certain point, kind of gullible to a certain point. Like, if you give me a good sob story, I'll believe you, right? But yeah, let's listen to this.
Once people are aware of your presence and perhaps vaguely intrigued, you need to stir their interest before it settles on someone else.
So once they know how you are, the appearance you give them, you need to get them to pay more attention to you by showing them the opposite. You look like you're a nice person on the outside, and maybe you show them a tiny glimpse that there's maybe an evil side to you. That will definitely captivate attention.
What is obvious and striking may attract their attention at first, but that attention is often short-lived.
Yes.
In the long run, ambiguity.
What's obvious and striking is this, but then "I'ma steal your man" is the other part that fascinates men.
Is much more potent. Most of us are much too obvious. Instead, be hard to figure out. Send mixed signals, both tough and tender, both spiritual and earthy, both innocent and cunning. A mix of qualities suggests depth, which fascinates even as it confuses.
And a lot of people think that her two-sided nature turns men off. In reality, it doesn't. In reality, it just makes them more fascinated by her. Just like the asshole who's nice on the inside doesn't push women away, but actually attracts them. Just like the fucking Jake the meditation teacher who tries to bang you, right? A lot of women will succumb to Jake the shaman, because he has a spiritual air to him, but also sexual. I remember I was talking to this girl who used to go to this tea drinking event of meditation in New York City, and she was telling me how she slept with a tea meditation. They do tea. I don't fucking know. That's weird as shit. Anyways, I didn't know they did that. But she said what she found hot was that when she was, that was so bad. But you know what I'm saying? She felt like she was doing that to a holy dick. I'm like, yo, that's trippy as hell, girl. That's trippy as hell. But the fact that I kind of get it. I kind of understand it. Like it feels so corrupt, and that corrupt aspect makes it so attractive. But the point is that it's simply because of projecting one thing and being the other that charges it with sexuality.
Elusive, enigmatic aura will make people want to know more, drawing them into your circle. Create such a power by hinting at something contradictory within you. Nothing can proceed in seduction unless you can attract and hold your victim's attention, your physical presence becoming a haunting mental presence.
And that's the thing, is that too many people, especially women who watch this, project one thing because they want to project consistency. The issue with that is that it gets boring after a while. You have to project some form of inconsistency, something opposite of what you show. And the truth is that you're more that than the consistent self. You have contradicting qualities. It's okay to show that. It's actually attractive. That's why guys are attracted to the psycho girls who, when they're psycho, they're hot, but
it is actually quite easy to create that first stir. An alluring style of dress, a suggestive glance, something extreme about you.
Right? And the extreme about Ariana is that she has a little girl look. First of all, like, I'm not going to judge people because when I look at her, I think I'm looking at a fucking 12-year-old. But, well, honestly, we got to be careful with judging people who are into her, honestly, because it's not fair for her. Yeah, I think we all know what we're thinking about. It's not fair for her that every guy that she dates, every freaking person holding their pearls starts judging. 'Cause even I started judging, but it's not fair. All right, let's keep listening.
But what happens next? Our minds are barraged with images, not just from media, but from the disorder of daily life. And many of these images are quite striking. You become just one more thing screaming for attention. Your attractiveness will pass unless you spark the more enduring kind of spell that makes people think of you in your absence.
I'm telling you, so many women look average. So many women that applied this strategy, people don't understand that they're reacting. They think they're beautiful, even though they are. But what they don't understand is that they're reacting to a mixed signal. There's this one girl that I know that I met the other day, and she dresses like a hooligan, like in a good way, like a very hippie person. But her face, it looks so sweet. She looks like a very nice girl, but everything about her looks rough. And that's, man, you see her, you're like, oh my God. But in reality, if you look at her, she's average. But it's just the fact that she knows how she looks. She knows she has a certain nice girl, conservative look. And so she plays up an external image of a bad, rebellious person. And that creates fascination in guys even more.
That means engaging their imagination.
And that's what she's doing. She's pretty much engaging in the imagination because it doesn't make sense. And I'm trying to add it up. And because I'm trying to add it up, I'm thinking of you more.
Making them think there is more to you than what they see. Once they start embellishing your image with their fantasies, they are hooked. Mm-hmm. This must, however, be done early on, before your targets know too much and their impressions of you are set.
Right? And so what Ariana does is that she first meets the guy, obviously on set, and then they talk, and she gives them an air of like innocence. But then from what I've heard is that she gets their numbers or Instagram and she starts DMing them. And she starts going on the offensive. And that is counter how she looks. Because again, she doesn't look like that type of person. That's the only reason why it works. Because she just doesn't look like it. If she looked like Rihanna, which she looks like more of a bad bitch, then yeah, you could expect her going for it, right? She's like, give me that dick, right? But she looks like a innocent little girl who will never, ever take your man. Mm-hmm. She's like Tyrone. I swear to God, she's Tyrone. All right, let's keep listening.
It should occur the moment they lay eyes on you. By sending mixed signals in that first encounter, you create a little surprise, a little tension. You seem to be one thing, innocent, brash, intellectual, witty, but you also throw them a glimpse of something else, devilish, shy, spontaneous, sad.
Right.
Keep things...
An example, I want to show you guys the example of Rasputin, actually. Right. Okay. So look, this is how he looks normally, right? But what they say, what Rasputin did to a lot of people, to a lot of women in general, boom, that look right there. That was the look of Rasputin, right? And that looks dark, as opposed to when he's being like this, right? Well, those were intense eyes, but what they say that he did was that he would talk, and he would talk in a speech, in a very happy way, talking. Yes, yes, yes. And he looked like a very peaceful monk. But then he started talking about things about injustice, and all of a sudden he turned dark and angry. And the contrast made the king and the royals of that time realize they were in the face of someone different. And the reason why that worked is because of his contrast. The whole looks like a monk who is sacrificial to God, everything for God, right? But as soon as your girl gets too close to him, all of a sudden Rasputin becomes poppy sweetened, whatever the fuck you want to call that shit, right? And that was the secret. And to me, he's actually one of the most fascinating people in that regard, because he exemplified that mixed signal part, right? Let's keep listening.
Subtle. If the second quality is too strong, you will seem schizophrenic.
So what he says is that be subtle, right? Let you show your mixed signals in a subtle way. Don't show it too obvious. Don't be like, kissing babies and then stabbing a motherfucker, right? No, like if you want to show your evil stabby side, kiss a baby, and then give an evil look to someone. I don't fucking know, but what he says is that let it be subtle, right? Let it be subtle, and so it could be in a look where you say, no, I don't do that type of stuff, I don't fucking know how to be subtle, people, but you guys get what I'm saying.
If the second quality is too strong, you will seem schizophrenic. But make them wonder why you might be shy or sad underneath your brash intellectual wit, and you will have their attention. Give them an ambiguity that lets them see what they want to see. Capture their imagination with little voyeuristic glimpses into your dark soul.
Like, it's almost like when even I meet people, like always, I try to give them a good impression, right? I try to give them a good. I'll be honest with you, I do try to act shy on dates because I have a strong personality, right? And so I had to learn to slowly show myself to people, because I could be very strong with people. So I learned to just be more quiet, to listen more, to let them talk. But every time, there's something about my other side that just slips out in conversation. Maybe it's the way that I stand, maybe it's the way that I walk, maybe it's the way that I look at them or talk to them. But no matter how much I try, I can't. Most people never think I'm introvert. I do try to, because I do have an introverted personality. I really do. Like, my lifestyle is introvert. So I am introverted in a certain degree. But for some reason, no matter how much I try, there's glimpses of like evil that comes out, and I try not to, but that's actually not a bad thing, right? Because what it does is that it gives you a spice to you, like hot and cold. But also, even on YouTube, I try to show a dark side, but then people can sense that I'm actually a really nice person, right? And that's what you want. You want to you want 90% of the outside, but then 10% contradiction. And that will hold people's attention, right? Now, I'm thinking of doing more of these like this, but I'm going to stop it here. But because I pretty much just, communicated the point of Ariana Grande, but that's pretty much what she does. And this is something that all you guys can apply. This is something that all you guys can do. And it's completely possible to do this. And this will literally make you stand out from other women. Like, seriously, you will stand out. Sending contradiction. Too many people are too consistent with their looks. Just work, know who you are, Show the opposite, and then you'll see another side. You'll notice how people react to you much differently. Okay. Anyways, that's Ariana Grande's strategy. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored by the Feminine Woman. Right. I don't think the course is up here. So in this course, it's complete self-help course for women. Completely self-help, where we're talking about how to develop a strong masculine foundation, because I think that a masculine foundation is your defense mechanism. How to embrace your feminine, which sometimes women lose when they're trying to embrace their masculine. Femininity in the workplace, is pretty much about how to conduct yourself in the workplace. If you have power as a woman or if you're subordinate, there's different rules for different types of women in those positions. And the other one is navigating labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this is actually very important, where a lot of women just don't know how to make male friends or make female friends. So in this part, I review to you how to find the women that are envious about you, people who are trying to hurt you, how to read people better. So this one is about week 5 is about releasing the burden of the past and how to destroy mental projections, which actually gets you in the way with relationships with people, and increasing your observational powers, which this week is about how to observe people better. And I give you guys exercises. And there's a bunch of other bonuses, people, that you can see here. You can pre-order it right now before the prices go up. And if you guys don't, I'm closing the channel. Okay. I am not kidding. I will close the channel. All right. Anyways, click in the description down below to pre-order it, and I'll see you guys later. Take care, or else.